Hello, everyone. It's Texas Toast Podcast with Miss Helen, along with producer Kyle, and we're just getting ready for a big interview coming up here. And I look back. This is kind of off topic. I'm just going to go here. You tell me if this is okay or not. But I actually went through and I ran a list of everybody we've had on the podcast over the years. It's amazing, amazing.
Yeah, and this guy's another special one to add to the list. I can't believe you're brushing over the fact that this is our first podcast in like 4 months.
Oh, because well, I know. Yes, yes. This is the first time we've been together actually with official business for the Texas Toast podcast together. And it does feel good because I just feel like I have been out of touch and I feel like I just didn't have a voice and I've been silenced. We'll get into that. And I talked about that in a previous interview. But yes, it feels so good. I just oh, it's been quite a, I guess, how can I say this, an
Been a
experience, but
journey.
it's like I'm on, yeah, really big journey. I'm almost to the finish line, and life has never been better. My outlook has never been better. Sometimes, you don't question why things happen; they just happen, and you got to be tough, and you have to roll with it, and you don't give up. You don't ever give up, and it's
Mm.
like going through my outpatient rehab. A neuropsychologist had a conversation with me the other day that just really touched my heart, but I just do what I do. She said they had never seen such a motivated patient, a patient that came in, that asks for homework, that goes above and beyond, that I actually come home, I follow up with what they want me to do. Like I was not sleeping. So I have this whole breathing technique that I do now. I suggest anybody to research the breathing apps or breathing for stress or whatever you need in your life. Highly recommend that. The Calm app, it gets me. And I mean, like I just have these routines now that I didn't have before. There's resources out there for everything. But yeah, I've been blessed to have some great people to on this journey and get me to my recovery. And now to be back on the podcast, life is good.
Mm.
Life is
What
good.
hospital was taking care of you?
Memorial Hermann Tier program. I went to
Okay.
Tier inpatient rehab right after I was released from Sugarland Memorial Hermann. And this is called the Tier Challenge program. And they work wonders there. It's actually where Gabby Gifford went when she had her brain injury.
Mm.
A lot of great stories on that wall when you walk or when you lap it there. And I have, since I've been there, I have seen people that have come in and they were still in their wheelchairs and they were still not communicating very well. And it's all kind of different brain injuries, not just stroke rehab. And it's just amazing. All of a sudden you see them on the bars, on the bars and walking, and then they're doing weightlifting, and then they're bending. And same for me. Like I did such a cool physical therapy workout the other day. Basically, it's like these slats with these squares, and she gave me four patterns, and I was the first patient to ever have four patterns with music playing. And it's a distraction to where you have to know how to use your attention, and it was great. It was like a great agility thing, and also a good workout. And it's kind of like moving your feet like the football players do in the tires, except I'm doing it in
Mhm.
these squares. And so yeah, I've accomplished a lot. And it's my daughter took a video. I didn't know. I mean, there was some video taken, which probably should not have been taken, but I'm grateful that it was documented. But when you see what I came out of and what I progressed to, it's it it's
Miracle.
it's yeah, I'm proud of
Well,
myself,
we're
but
all
but it's all the support because everybody loves me so much. I have you and our
yeah.
Texas Country family, my community here, my hometown community, like everybody, and then all the medical people that work with me. So it's all great, and we're ready to get down to some business with this Texas music here at Texas Toast. And I guess with that being said, really excited. Willy Braun and Reckless Kelly have always been one of my favorites, and so we had the chance to actually, that was my first interview back with Willie from Reckless Kelly, and they "What's Left in My Heart" is their current single out to Texas Country Radio, and it's like in the top 10 right now. And we had a great visit with Willie.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Have you ever wondered how artists like Treaty Oak Revival, Red Clay Strays, and Aaron Watson maintain the high quality and high demand for their merchandise? CH Lone Star Promo is the answer. Created in Texas to serve Texas artists, and they're currently offering 15% off on all merch orders from musicians. Visit chlonestarpromo.com to get started and tell them Texas Toast sent you.
I was reading the other day that it takes at least $1 million to break an artist. That's a ton of change, and it can feel overwhelming. But with social media leveling the playing field, you just need an effective strategy to release your music. Check out Release Rocket to ensure your single does not die after release day. You've already put time, effort, and tons of money into writing and recording your album. Let the guys at Release Rocket keep your new release alive.
Big Texas toast and cheers to Willy Braun joining us from Reckless Kelly and talking about a lot of things going on with you. And welcome, welcome. So glad to have you.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so it was so exciting because it's like The Last Frontier dropped, of course, a few months ago. A new album that had, let's see, maybe it's been quite a few years, since a new album, but the two singles off of it already are just like going, making hits in Texas radio, like all of your stuff.
Yeah, we've had good luck with the first two. It's all, you never know what's going to happen when you throw all these, songs out, because we always pick our favorites, and then sometimes it differs from the fan favorites or whatever the management company thinks and all that. So this time around, everybody kind of agreed, and so we put out Keep Looking Down the Road, and then
Right.
My Heart, and both of them have had pretty good success with the fans. They seem to like it, and when we play them live, people know some of the words, so it's going well.
Cool, cool. Well, I really like him. Of course, being a big fan and then also loving playing your stuff on the radio when I was on the radio. But What's Left of My Heart, that was something we talked about here on the podcast when it was released. And interestingly enough, I was previewing that when it came out, the backstory on it and the writing on it. You were house sitting for your parents. I found that interesting how it was kind of a quick write for you and then a little bit different once it got to the studio.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that was I liked the hook, and it kind of wrote itself. It's a real easy, no real storyline to the song, so those ones they usually come out pretty fast, and this record was all short, kind of compact, concise tunes, so they were all only a couple verses and really short verses, so it was pretty quick right to begin with. But I think the original demo I did and what we came up with in the rehearsal room with the band was a little too, I don't know, it sounded a little too country, like 90s country, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it just wasn't fitting the vibe for the record. So we almost scrapped it just because of that. But then our producer, Jonathan Tyler, he really liked it, so he kept pushing for it. And so we tried it a couple different ways, and we put this more of like a Rolling Stones type of vibe behind it, and I don't know if it necessarily turned out that way, but when you put that in your head, like go more Stones than Alan Jackson, and whether or not it turns out that way, you don't know, but it at least gives you a little bit of a direction. You can kind of steer it in that type of vibe. So once we did that, it turned out really cool, and turned out to be one of my favorite tracks on the record. So thanks to JT for keeping it.
I know. Good job on that. And then I will talk a little bit about the title cut too. I really like that one, and featuring Kelly Willis on that.
Yeah, that one I wrote with my brother Gary from the Motor Cars, and then our buddy Crosby. Him and I write quite a bit. Actually, the three of us have been writing a lot together over the last few years. And there's, I think, 4 songs on that new album that the three of us wrote together. And that title track is one that Crosby had a line, "You can lose your mind trying to follow your heart," and then I had one that was kind of centered around The Last Frontier, and kind of combined our ideas, and we finished it up, and then it was really just a cool tune, and we had it tracked, and Cody, my brother, our fiddle player, came up with the idea to make it a duet, and we just immediately thought Kelly Willis would be perfect for it. We called her up, and she was nice enough to come sing on it, and she really made the track. I just love her voice, and we've been fans forever, so we always wanted to do something with her, and I'm glad we waited as long as we did, because it really was a perfect fit for her.
Nice. Yeah, the blending of voices was so amazing. And I want to move back one more time to What's Left in My Heart and talk about the pop-up video.
Oh yeah, that's
that is something else. How y'all did that, I loved it.
I need to see the final product. I still haven't seen it, but our management company asked me if I wanted to do a pop-up video, and I was like, what's a pop-up video? And I forgot all about the old VH1 thing. When they sent me an example of it, I forget what it was, but I was like, oh yeah, those things. And so we just tried to think of, interesting little anecdotes and,
Hmm.
who's who in the video and that kind of stuff. And it's, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I need to go check it out, because I saw like a version of it, but I never saw the final. So I hope it
Oh
turned out.
yeah. Well, it was funny because I had prepped for the interview, and Jen had sent the email out today with the video. So yeah.
Oh,
It,
hey,
yeah. So it was weird because it was in my email box like first thing this morning.
yeah, it's funny, that kind of stuff. It takes so long to get out there that by the time it finally
It
makes
does.
emails on it, and I just kind of, once my part's done, I'm like, all right, it's done.
So you're staying busy, and this is a real this is going to be a memorable year for Reckless Kelly. And let's talk a little bit about the 20th anniversary of one of my all-time favorite albums, Wicked Twisted Road. And that's going to also be the name of the tour. But yeah, and going back to Wicked Twisted Road, thank you for so many great songs on that one. Just
Oh, thank
always been one of my favorites. Yes. So let's talk about a little bit about the final traditional tour.
Yeah, this is the last year we're going to do touring the way we've always done it, which is, and it's even a scaled back version of what we've always done, which is just pretty much take every gig that comes down the pipe. But last few years we've only done about 35 or 40 shows, and that's what we're doing this summer. And before that, we'd play, and back in the old days, like over 200 shows a year, and then we scaled that down to 150 or so, and kept kind of scaling it back for a while. And we're just it's kind of hard to get the actual message out to what we're doing, because people think we're just not playing anymore, but we're just
Right.
from traditional touring, because uh it just takes a lot of time to go out there and do it. And your overhead stays up really high and yada yada. But we're also finding out that this is a really difficult industry to retire from. So we're just going to try to stay off the road, and just take it as it comes, and just do a few gigs here and there, and do stuff that's really a lot of fun to play. And um just probably do a handful of shows every once in a while, just to see how that goes. But we're kind of having to figure out how to do it, because we've never known how to say no to gigs, and neither have the people that work for us. And so it's
Right.
big learning for all of us to try to restructure this thing, because we didn't know you could do it any other way than just playing all the time. So we're kind of figuring it out, but we're looking forward to it.
hmm Good time to kind of go back to the beginning days, and I still remember when y'all first came on the Texas music scene, and that making that move from home to Austin. So let's kind of reminisce a little bit about that, and then how you just became such a staple in our industry, in the music.
Yeah, we moved to Austin in '96.
Amazing.
Yeah, I can't believe it seems like it
Gosh.
on one hand, and then it seems like 50 years ago on the other. But yeah, we saw a lot of changes in Austin, over the years. And we got down there, and we all like got jobs as, bus boys and guys working at gas stations and line cooks and bar backs and uh, waiting tables and all that kind of stuff. And for some reason, we got this weekly gig at Lucy's down on 6th Street, where a lot of us were working,
Hmm.
bar backs and stuff. And we started playing there every Monday. And we'd set up like right belong these windows that went out onto 6th Street, and we'd open up the windows, and we'd all just sit in stools, and did this acoustic show. And it was a little different than what was going on in Austin at the time. There was kind of like the blues scene was kind of petering out a little bit, and there wasn't a lot of country rock stuff going on at the time. So just all the people walking down 6th Street would hear us play, and they'd poke their head in. And we got this following really quickly, and then we got a couple of interviews on KLBJ on the morning show, and they became pretty big fans real quick, and so they were plugging us. And so between those couple of things, the word got out pretty fast, faster than it probably should have. And we got that first little jump was pretty fast for us in Austin.
Wow. What was y'all's first release to Texas radio? Do you
Um,
remember?
well, the first album was Milliken.
Uh-huh.
I think that was definitely before they had like the Texas radio, uh, the regional radio report, or I'm
Yeah.
sure it used to be called, but I'd say it was 5 or 10 years before they even started doing that.
Mhm.
So they had back in the day, they had the Waterloo Records top 10 was kind of a big deal in Austin. Like the top selling records, and we were on that list for quite a while when we first put out Milliken. And I remember that, but I don't really remember there being a single per se, because there really wasn't anywhere for us to put one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I'm losing my timeline here because you're right, because it was more the late 90s, because I know Shane Media had the first chart, the Texas music chart,
Yeah.
and then it started, then we really started the radio station started programming, and it was just so nice when we were able to program Texas music and start playing it. I was a huge voice for that in radio.
Yeah, we
Hmm.
appreciate it's been great for us, because it's been about 25 years or something, huh?
Yes, yes, yes. It's been going a while, and now we got like multiple charts. But yeah, been amazing to watch, what Reckless Kelly did all these years. I mean, it seems like you've been around forever, but yet, it's just going back. I guess going back that far, it's just like y'all have always been there for me, always on the radio.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's funny. We went from being the young kids to the old timers kind of overnight. Like we were always the
Well,
young, and all of a sudden we were the old kids on the block. So we're happy.
mm.
It's been a good run.
Yes. And let's talk about your annual festival, your Braun Brothers reunion, going at, let's see, 40 years already on
Yeah,
that
it was the 40th anniversary of
last year.
mom and dad started doing it a long time ago, and we
Hmm.
really couldn't even figure out if it was the 40th year or not, because they've named different festivals that they've done over the years, different things. And so we're trying to just find this general consensus with all of my dad's brothers, and uh, mom and dad and my brothers, and everybody's opinions. I was thinking it was about 37 years, and somebody thought it was 45. And so we were all just like, oh, so this year's 41 is what we're calling it. But it's up in Chapel.
Okay.
And we're actually releasing the lineup, I think next week, making the announcement for the full lineup, and it's a great one this year. It's just a little 3-day festival in this little town in Idaho, and
Hmm.
bring a lot of our friends from Texas come up and play. Quite a few bands come every year, and then we fill in the other about 50% of the acts are rotate every year. But yeah, it's just a cool little festival with a lot of families come out to it, and it's on a golf course, so people have a lot of room to spread out. And we limit the tickets to a certain amount, so it's got a real excuse me, laid back atmosphere.
Hmm. That's exciting. I know there'll be some good names on that list, I'm sure. Let's talk about another talent that you have with the set list and your art. That's always been fascinating.
Excuse me. Yeah, I just started drawing pictures on the set list quite a few years ago. It started out as always something that was like maybe funny that happened the night before, and then it just kind of people would make comments about it, and I just kept doing it. So I don't know, it's been about 20 years since I've been doing that, and I've saved most of those set lists uh, over the years. So I have almost all the original set lists that we've ever done. So it's
Wow.
scrapbook to go back and go through this huge stack of set lists that I've got.
I did notice something that I thought was really big for me to see is that as you're going into the final traditional tour of this next year, is the show at the Ryman in September of 2025.
Yeah, that's going to be a blast.
That's awesome.
Cody Canada's doing it with us. We did it, I guess, last year or 2023. Played it with Mike and the Moon Pies, who are now
Mhm.
Silverado, and
Yes.
And it was amazing. We had like it sold out really fast, and it was just one of those kind of destination gigs for a lot of our fans. And everybody that went up there, they knew all three bands really well.
Mm-hmm.
I watched, the other two bands play, and it was kind of weird because like about halfway through the Moon Pie set, I was just thinking like, man, we better step our game up tonight because these guys are crushing it. And it was one of those nights that every band really brought their A game, and they just had a great show, and the fans are really into it, and that venue is just so cool. So we're looking to try to recreate that kind of vibe this year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's just such an honor to play a room like that, to go and stand on the same stage that all those greats have been on. And the room sounds so good, and they got the stained glass windows up there. It's just a really surreal place to play.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I actually had the pleasure of going there one time. It's gorgeous. So going into this year, and then the tour and the shows that'll be coming up, kind of what are your thoughts on that? Like, what are you looking forward to as you start wrapping it up this year?
Well, the Braun Brothers reunion, of course, it's always a highlight for us. That's in August, and then I always like playing out here in the West, because we get to do a lot of shows out here. And I usually, since I live out here, I'll just I have a pretty cool camping set up in my truck, and I'll just follow the bus and do the show, and I'll go camp out somewhere.
Nice.
I really enjoy doing that. And then we've got a handful of shows that we're playing backing up Steve Earle, which we did a few of those last year. And it was really great. We go out and we do a few Reckless tunes, and then bring Steve out and we back him up, and we're just his band. And he's a huge influence on us, and big big fans of his. And so we've got to be good friends with him over the years. And going out and playing Steve Earle songs and being his band is just like something that we never in a million years thought we'd be able to do. And so that's a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to doing some more of that too.
That's exciting. Well, looking forward to what's to come this year, and then of course, new music to radio and enjoying the album. And it really is an honor and a privilege to have the chance to interview you here on the podcast, because I've been a huge fan, professionally and personally, for so long.
Oh, well, thanks so much. It's great to be here, and thanks for having me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and we look forward to this year. And I got to keep up with that schedule, because I need to find something in this region to go to before it's all gone.
Yeah.
Of course, even though that's why, yeah, even though it's that non-traditional tour, but you'll still be doing things even after you kind of wind down with this.
Oh yeah, we'll be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta
There's no way. Yeah.
Might have to drive a little farther to see us, but probably be making records and doing other kind of projects too. So we're
right. Right. All right, Willie, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Cheers.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Willie, for taking the time to come on the podcast. It's a great visit with Willy Braun from Reckless Kelly. And now we're going to jump into some more Texas stuff with Texas on Tap. This is our first Texas on Tap back in the saddle here at the Texas Toast Podcast. And so I have a list full. Finally, I can shout it, Kyle. I can shout it.
I imagine it's a long one.
I have been blowing up text messages. I have been like emailing. That was the one thing I could do. As I said, it's like I would see the new radio releases coming out, and I would listen to them, and I would look at the backstories, and it was just like, wow, that's really good. And then all of a sudden, another one. Oh my gosh, I am so proud of them. That is like freaking awesome. Outside of, I'm going to cover some of the artists that we already know, but then I have outside of this list, we have some new names coming in, Kyle. There is some new Texas artists that are up and coming that I've been checking out their music and following along, and we will get to that eventually. But I guess I'm going to start off with this. Is it okay if I just jump into my list?
Yeah, do your thing.
I'm just going to jump into this list. Out to radio, and I texted him and messaged him right away. Chuck Weimer, featuring Jarrett Ray Reddick. Chuck Weimer grew up being a huge fan of Bowling for Soup. Well, Jarrett Ray Reddick is one of our favorite Texas artists. And of course, from Bowling for Soup, there was that hit 1985. Chuck released 1985 country version, and it is out to Texas radio. So I have to mention that. Also, Casey Donahue has a new one out, Green in Colorado. But I want to talk about my friend Brooke Graham. Poor day girl. She's a salt girl, like saltwater soul. You know, we're beachy girls. We're the coastal girls. She has a new single called Rolling On, and it's out. Brooke did a great job on that. Looking forward also to Brooke after the New Faces show at T3R Awards. I think that's what it's called. I don't know if that's the official name of it, when we have the New Faces show at T3R. So afterwards at the Sheraton, she's throwing a beach party.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
It's
So
right up your
coastal,
alley.
yeah, coastal girl coming inland, taking care of that. So a good one from Brooke Graham, Rolling On. Bubba Wesley, the highest debut on the charts he's ever had. Damn Baby, that's his current single that's come out to radio while I was like trying to get back to business. I'm really proud of David Lewis. Ain't Gonna Change Me. He has a great release out. Ashley Ewing, 321. Check that one out. Dosed of Hill County. Madam Radar. If you haven't checked their single out, Just Let Go. I really like that one. And I think it was really a song that was perfect for me at the time that I heard it on the day with going through this recovery and all this. Also, April and Smith has something out to radio. Josh Ward, there's a drink for that. He has that out. And I want to talk about someone called Uncle Reno. Me and him were communicating prior to me going down, and he has this single out to radio. He's really an interesting gentleman. I got to communicate a lot with him before I was taken out for a little while. CW and 20 Hands High, they have a new one out. When we mentioned Steve Anthony's down in Texas is also out. Tiona Campbell has a new single out. Peyton Riley, Weather Boy, way to go, Peyton, on that one. And I'm just going on and on. Like this is a list, a list, a list. This is just I'm probably missing a whole bunch, but something that I want to talk about is Chip Oliphant, Jason Allen, and Susan Hickman. They had the whole album project with 4 6s and Grit and Glory. It's an album that's out, a music project that they did, and I really, really would like to talk to them about this. I would love to have Jason or Chip or everyone on the podcast to talk about that particular project. That's exciting. And then Mr. Number One, James Land, he has a lot of
Mhm.
number ones on the Texas country charts. I don't apologize. He has a new single out as well. That's just a few of y'all I am trying to name. I know there's others and I know I'm missing some, but wow, the music, everyone's been so busy.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
Going crazy, hitting it hard to start the year strong. Absolutely. This month of February has felt like an entire year
I,
almost.
yeah.
I can't even imagine what it's felt like for you. You're going
Well,
through it right now, but
yeah, January really was that for me because I wasn't like I was in that in between trying to get to my outpatient rehab and the paperwork and insurance and all that. But it's like, but now I do have to say that now that I have like 4 days a week into Houston, 4 hour, it's a 4 hour round trip for us.
mhm.
So, and then some days spending 5 hours there.
Yeah,
That's kept me occupied. But now I'm almost to the finish line 3 days a week, and some of those hours are going down to like 4 hours. And even though it's the schedule has decreased, what we're doing with the activities are like the big ones. They're the big ones to finish fine tuning. So
good.
it's cool. So I stayed up last night. I'll just be honest with you. It's like I can't type. I mean, like this finger is and this finger don't exactly want to. No, they just don't want to work with the keyboard. So I'm doing typing practice. I'm learning to type again, like you're supposed to, because I've been doing this hunt and peck, like that.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to type like a real person again. So it's all good. It's all good.
Well, that's
It's all
fun.
good, Kyle. Yeah.
I just wanted to double down on what you said. All of us, the outreach from the listeners and the fans and the Texas country musicians was like outstanding to see. But we're all very proud of you. We're all happy. I'm very happy to be back doing this.
I
It's
know.
just nice. It's nice to be here and
I missed you,
back
Kyle.
on the
I
show.
missed you.
Yeah, I missed you too.
Yes.
I think that's a good time to mention, just for the listeners out there, we are going to be changing up the format just a bit. We're kind of just messing around, just trying to see, how things go, how things work. And as you can tell, if you're listening to this, this is already different from what you're used to. But going forward, we're going to be doing an episode every 2 weeks. So we're going to have
Hmm.
an episode every other Tuesday, sticking into Tuesdays like our normal day, but we'll basically have the artist interview followed by Texas on Tap each week. Texas on Tap might shift a little bit from how you're used to it, but we're still going to be talking about new releases. We're still going to be talking about all the fun stuff going on, shows, streaming releases and just
Absolutely.
everything that we want to talk about. And probably a lot of baseball this time of year. So, you know, same old
Hmm.
stuff, just a little bit packaged different.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're still covering the same thing. We're still going to keep you up to date on what's going on in Texas country. And I think we may even probably, expand that and really, really look at the different events and just topics to talk about in Texas country. Maybe just pick a topic once a week and just talk about maybe a project or something like that from our point of view. So
Definitely.
yeah, I'm just running with that. But anyway,
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's always nice to kind of shake things up a little bit. Like that song Pam
Absolutely.
Tillis had. Like Pam Tillis had that song "Shake the Sugar Tree." I used to love that song. That's a '90s country thing. But anyway, so
Oh man. I saw something funny Pam Tillis made. I think that was Pam Tillis. It was like a songwriter around in Nashville and she was talking to it was a Nashville dude. She was talking to I think Tucker Wetmore. Have you heard of him?
mm-mm,
Okay, he's
I
like
don't
an
think
up
so.
and coming Nashville guy, but she was sitting there talking to him as if he was somebody else and saying like, "Oh, I love this song," and I think she thought he was Riley Green, if I'm not mistaken, but it was really funny, and she owned it.
Oh,
She owned it so
oh,
well
that's
too.
what you have to do. But remember in the beginning, Kyle, the first time we went to TCMAs and it was after COVID and people had seen we hadn't seen a lot of people. And like
Yeah,
I finally it was like I didn't recognize a lot of people and it's like, okay, so are you gonna play that card where you're gonna roll with it and be like, oh yeah, I know you. No, finally it was like, now who
bro.
do we have here? Sometimes and you do have to own it because I've accidentally, well, remember the time I called, well, should I bring this up? Because
Sure.
I mean, it's kind of like with my kids growing up. It's like I even see some of the boys that grew up with my son, and they all look alike. And I know one of them will say,
Yeah.
"Well, that is don't call me Chad. I'm not Chad. Chad's over there." I'm like, "I'm sorry, y'all all look alike, and y'all all grew up." And I think speaking of Chads, I use that as an example, but it was like it was Chad Cook, and I was like, "Look, there's Clay Hollis." But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
didn't mean, it's like,
we were just
but
noobs
sometimes,
too.
yeah,
You wouldn't
sometimes
do
like
that now.
no, 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 no. But it's like, yeah, sometimes I have a hard time with that. And a couple of times Kyle would have to go, no, Helen, that's so and so. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
And I didn't,
the amount of edits I've made on the podcast where I'll have to turn my mic on and say, "Helen, it's no, that's this person," and you'll just run it back and act like nothing happened.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was before I even had a stroke.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse.
Oh,
But
exciting
anyway,
times
yeah.
ahead.
But that's
No, I'm
funny,
just
Pam
kidding.
Tillis. Pam Tillis had that little confusion, but that's what you have to do. You have to own it when something like just really goes bad. And I'm the one to do that all the time because Lord knows I do some stupid stuff sometimes or silly. I'm just one of those that if it's something's gonna happen, it'll happen to me, but you have to own it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, stuff that's going on right now. We're recording this the week before you're hearing it, obviously. So, rodeo cook-off is happening full force
Oh
this
yes.
weekend. Everybody's
Hmm.
out there playing shows, and then I
Oh
guess the rodeo starts next week.
yeah. I get to drive by there every day.
Oh,
My rehab center is right up from NRG.
is
So that
that
I've been
good or
driving
bad
by.
news?
No, it's okay. They were loading all the tents in, starting like they started like Wednesday or Thursday, loading all the tents in and getting the
Mm,
parking signs set. And I've been watching them set up everything as I go into rehab because it's right off Kirby where I go.
right. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it down there, unfortunately. I'm in Dallas this week. My girlfriend's here working, and so I'm with her, and I've got shows up here this weekend, but I've missed it the last 2 years, sadly. I was there, I guess 2 years ago. I was there because Bree played the cook-off stage, I think, and that was a lot of fun. So I just ended up down there a lot. But we need to go. I need to figure out how to get down there, but at least
Hmm.
go see a rodeo, a real show
Yes,
at some
yes,
point.
I know. Well, my dream is to go see Cody Jinks at the rodeo, so I gotta start working on
Mm.
seeing if I can round up some tickets. I want to go see Cody Jinks
Oh,
so
I bet we
bad.
can
Like
find you some
Cody,
tickets.
I love Cody Jinks. I just love Cody Jinks. But anyway, so
Yeah,
that's what, yeah, because somebody said something or somebody, one of our friends, he's on with one. They have a cook-off tent and they have a team, and I was like, well, I don't think we can make it to the cook-off. I said, but if anybody's got Cody Jinks tickets, I'm in.
yeah. Let
So,
me know.
mhm.
Well, that's fun. I guess for anybody listening, if you want to come see me play, I got some shows in Houston. Actually, I got shows all over the place next week. I'm going to be let's see, on Friday, March 7th. I will be out in the Marble Falls area at a venue called Fresh AF Park, Fresh Air and Food Park. That's in Cottonwood Shores, playing there 6 to 8 on Friday. And then I'm going to
Oh,
be playing at
cool.
both Rustics in Houston over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I'll be Rustic downtown on Saturday, March 8th, and then the Rustic in Uptown on
Ooh, go
Sunday, March 9th. So,
Kyle. Good
yeah.
stuff. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
some
lots
good
of fun stuff.
places. Yay.
And then
Awesome.
actually the week after that, me and our friend Shelton are heading out to West Texas to go record some music. So that's going to be real fun. I've got some new
Well,
stuff
look
coming
at
down the pipe.
y'all. Look at y'all. That is so exciting. See, Kyle didn't let up when I was out of pocket.
No,
Going.
I've just gotten
That's
busier and
good.
busier. Yeah.
Good deal.
I wanted to shout out. I don't really have a list. I honestly didn't do as good of a job keeping up with music as you did. But Charlie McCabe's put out a song, and he's got a new
Mhm.
song that just dropped this past Friday. So go check those out. Both of them are awesome songs. All kinds of cool stuff. Another highlight: our friend of the show, Steve Anthony, put out one of the best music videos I've seen in a long time.
I
Our
know.
friends
It's
Release
so
Rocket
good.
produced it. So
Mhm.
that one's called Down in Texas. Go check that out. It is hilarious and so well done.
Not totally not what I expected. I was so impressed with what the guys did with that. I was like, it just blew me away. There was a lot of thought put into that. And
Hmm.
then, yeah, and then having John Stork in it, that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the dude who the guy who was playing bass, I believe, in the video, he used to play with like Parliament Funkadelic, and he's done all kinds of cool stuff too. So
That is,
all
man,
star
they
band.
love it, love it, love it. You want to get outside the box, get Release Rocket for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely hit up our friends at Release Rocket Media. Okay, you got anything else this week, or we want to keep it short and sweet
No, I think
for our
we'll keep it
gentle
short.
return?
We'll keep it short and sweet. And I think I probably just like blew everybody's mind with going through my list 90 miles a minute. But seriously, there's some good music out there. Get out there and check it out. Get to some shows and support our Texas country red dirt artists and like Kyle, independent artists out there just trying to make a living and trying to put the music out there that y'all love doing. That's what it's all about, right?
Oh yeah, that's what we're here for.
Okay, thanks everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.